Oh, I believe I'm recording it. Due to the governor's order, you're allowed still to meet remotely, which is what you guys have been doing during this time. Tonight we have Lonnie on. At some point in time, Roger Belanger should be attending. You have a very short agenda. So Andy, I will turn it over to you.
Well, first, since we have all three of us here and nobody else here yet, let's talk about the Harvey contract.
Okay.
So you have everything ready, right?
I have everything ready. I just technically need you guys to vote that you want to. There was as you guys know, the 3-year contract with 2 1-year extensions. You took the 1-year extension last year, so there's one more left, and this would be from July 1st of 2022 to June 30th of 2023 that you guys need to vote on. The letter is ready to go. I just need a formal vote. And just remember, at least next year at this time, you should either be going out to bid or you should be in talks with Harvey to extend another contract and things like that.
Are there any changes financially or physically to the contract as far as what they're offering for services?
Everything is the same, except I believe there's a $10,000 increase, which is what they're averaging.
Yeah, that was agreed to. Each year was going to be an increase.
Correct. So nothing's changed, nothing's been added or anything like that.
Okay, thank you. Tom, do you have any thoughts on this?
No, I'm fine with doing the extension. Yeah, my vote.
Excellent, thank you. Alan?
No, I'm on board. I've been very happy with Harvey's service and the way they communicate with Missy when things have to be rescheduled. So I'm on board.
Could I have a vote, please? A motion?
I'll make the motion to extend Harvey's contract as written for the last 1-year extension.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Missy. I had a conversation briefly with Kim today about trash, and she asked, why do we handle it? And I said, that's the way it's been status quo since I got on the board and since long before that. I said, if you have any questions about that, you should probably talk to Missy about it. So I don't know. She wants to take away the burden of the paperwork out of the Board of Health and come up with a different plan. It seemed to me like she was leaning towards similar to what Uxbridge has. But that's a conversation for down the road.
She's looking to get rid of, well, you got to remember, you've got a contract with Wheelabrator. So when you do that, typically the non-subscription towns do not have Wheelabrator contracts, because then you would have to guarantee that your haulers are all going to go and dump in Millbury, and not all haulers dump in Millbury. You also have a guaranteed tonnage with Millbury. So if you're looking to get rid of the trash program completely, which is under the Board of, trash is under the Board of Health. It's one of those things that you guys do. Unless the Board of Health decides they don't want to run it anymore, that's totally up to you guys. But just keep in mind, you do have a contract that will expire in the next probably 3 or 4 years with Wheelabrator. And if you're going to go to a subscription town, that would be actually the best time for you to go ahead and do that. But that's up to you guys. That's for you, something for you guys to think about.
Thank you for all that, Missy. Okay, so the Harvey contract. Go ahead.
Yep. So the next thing would be for you guys to, who do you guys want to represent the Board of Health for Region 2 emergency preparedness? For many years, I have done it. If I'm not available at the board those board meetings, then I have Lenny was designated as the second. So I just need to know, and what someone needs to do is they have voting rights for the Board of Health in Mendon. when they try to purchase things, go into contracts, anything that requires Region 2 to have a vote for their steering committees, that is Mendon's vote. That's their representation. So I don't know how you guys want to handle that. It was something that I told Region 2 last week that I would try to get somebody to be involved. It's a meeting. Right now, the meetings are once a month and they're 9 o'clock in the morning.
So because he has been doing it in previous years, do you think that Lenny, it's a conversation we should have had already before this meeting, but do you think that Lenny would continue to do it for the Mendon Board of Health?
That's a conversation you have to have with Lenny. I can't speak on that.
Do you have any suggestions on anyone else?
If one of the board members want to take it over, the worst that happens is Mendon has no representation. If there's a time that you want to order or request for whatever, cell phone plans, iPads, whatever, laptops, whatever someone should be really there to attend these meetings. Tom?
Oh, yeah, I wasn't sure if my hand raising thing was working.
It is.
It froze on me for a second. Well, just a question with regard to the voting mechanism.
Mhm.
So when things do come up in these meetings, would some of these items necessitate then having conversations with town administration, whether it be through Kim or Board of Selectmen,
No.
or is this strictly something that falls within the domain of Board of Health only?
Strictly Board of Health only.
Okay. I just wouldn't want to, be overstepping our bounds per se. I just didn't know what you've had to do in the past when you voted, if you've had to have any conversations with anyone outside of BOH to get,
Nope.
approval.
No,
type of
pretty
thing.
much is like when you do there are regional shared items, something like there are trailers strategically placed. There are sat phones strategically placed throughout the region. So when those things, originally when we purchased them many years ago, it required these votes. And then because this is totally emergency preparedness, Board of Health only. So then as things age or there's damage, this committee would vote to expend their money as they see fit.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So that's something for you guys to think about. If you don't want to, the things that I'm bringing up to you guys tonight, I don't want you guys to feel pressure that you have to figure it out tonight. These are just some of those oddball things that you might not think about or realize. The other thing too is you'll need someone to represent the Board of Health when it comes to the Blackstone Valley Partnership for Public Health. That is that 8-town project. As you guys know, a couple of months ago, we hired 2 full-time employees. They are technically employees of the town of Northbridge. We just brought on an epi and a public health nurse. That is pretty much only a 1.5-year commitment. And they are also considered town of Northbridge employees. So now that hiring, there was a lot of meetings for that. But now that those things have been taken care of, I'm not really sure how often that committee will be meeting. But typically they are afternoon meetings. So go ahead, Tom.
What was the full name of that particular committee again, Missy?
It's called what the formal name they came up with after everything was the Blackstone Valley Partnership for Public Health. It's part of the Public Health Excellency Grant that the state did last year.
Okay. Good.
And that's how we got Danielle and Daniel.
Yep. Okay.
Because of the time of days when these meetings are scheduled to take place, I would not be able to do any of them. I'm sure Alan's probably in the same boat once the sun comes up early. we won't be able to do it.
Yeah, I guess it would depend upon how often we were meeting. I would try to be an alternate. I probably couldn't take the full commitment. But because of, obligations, being a member of the Board of Health, I would certainly dig deep and, try to backfill maybe the person that makes the commitment to take some of the, some of the weight off of the main person. But I certainly couldn't be in first position.
Alan, if you want to alternate every month, I'll back you up.
I could try to do that, but even that might be tough. April, May, June is like, that's a 3-month period that's really crazy for me. So, like I said, I can't be in first position, but I would definitely be a backup for someone. And obviously if a meeting were coming up and I, could be available, even if it wasn't my turn, I would certainly reach out and jump in. I just can't be in number one position for something like that due to my work schedule.
Yeah, there's the downside not being in person. You probably missed what I said. I was being kind of a wise guy. I said if you wanted to alternate every month, which would mean you'd be doing it on a regular basis.
Right. Well, I kind of got that.
Okay.
Because
I was being facetious.
Yeah, 50% would still be a larger commitment than I could make, unfortunately, because I definitely have an interest in both things that Missy has mentioned that we need to get somebody involved with, in her place. Obviously all three of us being Board of Health members for the period of time that we've served, we all have a vested interest in this, or we wouldn't, still be doing it.
Yeah.
Missy,
As we talked, just so we don't go too far with it, as we talked a few days ago about it, I mentioned to Missy that I'd be happy to be the primary contact for it.
And I'd be more than happy to be your associate.
You were my backup.
Missy,
So I'd be happy to do that.
Yes, Andy.
so since Lenny was doing it for us prior to this,
Yep.
and as your alternate, and he was on the payroll as a subcontractor, can Danielle do it as
No.
because she's part of the collaborative?
Correct.
Okay, well, she's an employee like Lenny was.
But for one thing, she's an employee, so some of these meetings you'd be discussing her job performance. So she can't be part of her own job performance type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this isn't something that would really be for her. And another thing, they don't have the time for these types of things, these kinds of commitments.
Okay.
With working for 8 other towns or 7 other towns, they don't really have that commitment time. Again, think about it. I just wanted you to be aware of some of these things that I do that I just have done for so long that, no one really thinks about,
It was taken for granted. I get it. That's why we're just having a conversation now,
Right.
trying to come up for ideas. That's all.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we can move on.
So the other thing is to discuss the operations of the office now that I am leaving. Tomorrow is my last day. Lonnie is present. I had talked to him earlier. He is here, kind of will help the board and try to navigate how things will be handled with the office and how things will move forward. I don't know, Lonnie, if you have anything you'd like to say.
Sure. First off, as you and I talked earlier, Missy, very, very sorry to see you're leaving, but understand. And the biggest thing is obviously the service that's provided from you in that office to the, the community and anybody, contractors, things like that. So that, and I did speak with AJ about it too, as well a little bit ago. The biggest thing that we should try to do is at least get somebody in there part-time to assist with helping people to navigate those waters as it can be kind of tricky. Hopefully we can find somebody that's been in the Board of Health office before, that may be retired, that can fill in to help in that capacity. It just, as I did with the conservation, again, this is an elected board, so it's completely up to you guys. But if there's something that I can do as I'm in the area, if somebody needs help filling out a form, just because, again, in the businesses that we have, I've worked through that. A lot of stuff is on Viewpoint now, which is great. But if you guys need any help, I'm just offering it. I'm not trying to push myself on anybody. But like I did with conservation, Damon and I, when they were without help there for a bit, we worked through just to help keep things moving for folks. So I'm here to help with that. I'm here to help you guys get your meeting agendas put together as well. If you do need it, I can get the links on there for you for the meetings, and I'll even be here to assist with meeting minutes if needed during that time frame until we do find somebody that at least can fill in temporarily and find somebody full time. But again, just wanted to extend that I'm here to help in any way that I can.
Thank you, Lonnie. Tom has done minutes previous to this. I don't know if he's willing to do that for us now, so that might be one thing off the list. But as I spoke to you earlier, we're going to need notification on the days that we're going to have a meeting, the code. We all have the dial-in number, but the code changes every meeting. So I know you had said that's something you could do. So that's right off the bat, and I'm sure that Tom and Alan would have that question for you, so just so they know that you're going to handle getting us the code and texting us on the day of our meeting, and that would be great.
Tom has his hand up, Andy.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, Lonnie, I just want to say thank you very much for putting yourself out there to help us out as we transition. Very much appreciated. I do like my coffee, extra cream and 2 sugars, just a FYI.
No problem.
As far as the meeting minutes go, yeah, I've had, had assisted Missy in the past, just as far as, getting them kind of structured and kind of help put together and so forth. But the one thing we probably need is, just because now they're recorded, just knowing how to get into the recording aspect, so we could be listened to and actually then crafted onto a written form, so they could be posted up, to the website.
Absolutely, I can 100% help with all of that.
Cool, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
So the other thing that I would have questions, well, one you guys be aware of is, how do you guys want to handle septic inspections? Tomorrow, do I change the voicemail and say, if you need septic inspections, I'll reach out to Steve Donatelli tomorrow, but are we still going to have people calling it in, or do you want to see if Steve is okay with them emailing or calling him directly? When we have septic plans, typically I will scan them and email them to Tom Ryder. That's something you need to think about how you want to handle. Andy?
Tom Fickner, are you familiar with scanning large plans and emailing them?
I've done it in the past. It's been a while, but I don't think it's too hard to figure out.
Typically, that's how it's done nowadays to get a proposed septic system design plan to Tom Ryder for scrutinization and approval. If that was something that you could do, that would be great. I have no interest to even know how to turn that machine on.
Maybe, Missy, maybe tomorrow we could do a little knowledge transfer.
Sure. Lonnie has his
Okay.
hand up.
Go ahead, Lonnie.
Yeah, sorry, it's funny, I was just gonna say the same thing. If you can, if you guys are gonna do that tomorrow, I would even be available for backup. Again, I can help out. Again, that's kind of what World Band does too. We help out with all the IT work. So anything technology that I can help out with to help bridge the gap. If somebody's unavailable, I'm generally around and can assist if something needs to be done in a pinch. You know what I mean?
Very good, thank you.
The other thing too is you guys also instituted a job card. So someone will need to know how to do that. I mean, again, I'm just trying to figure out the best way to get the office to continue functioning.
Yeah, that might be something you might want to go over tomorrow, but I think we had briefly discussed suspending the job card. Now that we've finally got it in place and it's working well, is it a consideration to suspend that program? I'd rather not if we don't have to. If it's something that you guys can go over tomorrow, show Tom how to print them so that they're available with a specific permit and address and all that stuff.
Yeah, if Tom's going to stop by, that's fine. I've also listed, maybe if Tom wants to, I've also listed all of the passwords for my computer, the phone, but also things like WebEOC, the Han, Viewpoint. So that way, you can still get into those things. You can go and edit, take my name out of it all, put whoever's name you want to receive these notifications. That's totally up to you guys. It's just something else that I'm thinking about. I have a crate, for lack of a better word, up on the counter now for they can put the plans, bills, mail. Someone's going to have to sign your bills. When years ago, it was voted for me to sign your bills. It was voted for me to do your abatements and commitments for the trash billing. When when you do have a new person, you will need to vote it to that particular person. It wasn't done to my job title, it was done to me. So just again, something for you guys to think about. Andy?
Thank you. So in answer to the previous question at the beginning, if someone asks any one of the three of us, hey, I'm doing a septic system, who do I call for inspections? We're going to go directly to Steve for now. Is that right?
If that's how you want to do it, I'll reach out to him tomorrow morning and ask him if he wants me to put his cell phone number on the recording, or if he wants to be emailed, or does someone want to come and check the messages every day or every other day?
Yeah.
Lonnie has his hand up.
Too much could slip through the cracks trying to do that. Not being able to get in there. We all have crazy schedules, and we would not be able to get in there on a regular basis to check the answering machine, and people will be getting upset because we're not expediting inspections on systems and stuff. I think that if Steve's good with it, more than likely he'll probably want his email address out there so that his cell isn't given away, because we all know how that can get carried away. Go ahead, Lonnie.
Sorry, yeah, so with the phone system that we do have, it may be helpful that I could have the voicemails, because they do get emailed as well. We could have them go to you all could get a copy of the voicemail, or we could make a point person for those voicemails just so that they get heard. So you definitely don't have to come to the building to get them. Just an option. So there's a lot of things technology-wise that we can help out with to help, again, hopefully it's just very short term. But again, even if it's long-term, whatever we can do, we can come up with a plan is kind of all I'm saying, I think.
Okay, but for right now, I think that contacting Steve Donatelli directly is the most expeditious way for us to do it, so nobody's left hanging. Tom,
Tom had,
Tom, how do you feel about that?
Oh, I'm fine with that. I did have a technical question for Lonnie. Lonnie, with regard to the phones, isn't there an ability to enter a code remotely to retrieve voicemail messages from a voicemail box?
Yes, we can do that as well. However, again, if you just the voicemail to email, the voicemail will stay in the mailbox. But if you all wanted to get a copy, so you just knew what was going on, it can be sent to your emails, and you can listen to them from your cell phone, your computers, whatever it is. But yes, there is an ability to access voicemail remotely.
Okay, I was just curious. That could be a nice, I think I'd probably go the route, at least initially, maybe if Steve's up for it, to bring him into the loop. But maybe as an option, as a backup, it's good to know we have a couple of technical options that we could exercise through, remote access to voicemail, or like Lonnie says, voicemail to have them go to email as well. Okay, thank you.
Andy, I just want you to know that I believe Roger Belanger's on. I didn't know if you wanted to ask him any questions or.
All right, thank you. Alan, do you have anything on this project, on this subject?
I'm good with the decision that's being made, provided that, Steve is on board. The other thing would be, do we need any kind of a method of tracking what he's working on our behalf? Seeing, obviously we'll be paying the bill. Do we need to like a once a week report as to who's contacted him and what he's working on? Maybe sent to us in email form, just so that we can, kind of update each other when we have our meeting as to what, Steve is currently been contacted by and what he's working on. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I agree that is something a weekly tally report would be good. Missy, the email address, is that I know it's town, but is that your email address with your name, or will it have to be changed?
I think the way it's been set up is on the website, the BOH, I believe, comes to me. But I do have my own email with my name on it. So that's actually a question for Lonnie to find out. Anyone who goes on to the website and they go on the Board of Health page and they hit contact, we want to contact the Board of Health, where does that email going to go?
Yep, give me 1 second. I'm going to let you know 1 second.
Good evening, Roger. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Guess he didn't stick around, huh?
Nope, he's still there. He's just on mute.
So right now, the Board of Health is so it's a distribution list. And so that's boh@mendonma.gov, and the members, so that goes to Missy. So, but we can I could add in the rest of the board members. Again, it would just be so that there was, again, just backup of the emails coming in. So you saw if anything needed to be taken care of urgently, at least you'd see it quicker than, again, hopefully we've got somebody quick, but just in that short term, for a few days, hopefully, or a week, whatever it may take, that we could get in. I could put all of you in that group, and anything that goes to BOH will go to you. I'll go to everybody, and then we can have somebody monitor Missy's mailbox as well, or I can add them to your box. There's so many ways technology wise that I can do this. You guys just kind of, I just, whatever direction you have, or if you want me to make a suggestion, let me just think about it overnight. Let me maybe even pop in there with Missy tomorrow to just see the flow of things, and I can maybe recommend a good solution for you guys.
All righty, thank you.
There's an, Roger has his hand up.
Hi, Roger. Hello? You're on mute. Roger, you're on mute. We can't hear you.
Would that be the one that's under Stacy? Is that Roger?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Stacy is his wife's name.
Okay. Yeah, it's muted out.
Yep.
Until Roger gets himself unmuted. The other thing that's been asked of me is who's going to sell trash stickers. I know Gail will sell them when I'm not around. The treasurer collector's office will sell them when I'm not here, in the town clerk. But I know some departments don't want it like plastered everywhere. So I don't know if that's a question for Lonnie, as far as, you know, if someone comes to the town buildings, where am I getting my stickers? And I didn't want to speak or say anything for any of the departments on, you know, this is what was going to happen, but that's something else, along with if someone's new to town, and they want to start trash service, only myself and Dan knows anything about standard, which is in KVS, and then bringing it into KVS. So that was something else that I didn't know how to handle.
Just quickly, I've written that I've been taking some notes here too to bring back to the board and to Kim and whatnot. I'll just add this to the list. Hopefully we'll be able to get a little assistance. Again, just short term to be able to bridge that gap. But I've added it to the list on my end.
Thank you, Lonnie.
Did you guys have any questions of me as far as anything?
I think you and I have talked enough where I think I've got my answers for things I wanted to know. Alan, I don't know if we should talk with you or Tom.
The only thing that I can say is it's definitely going to be a challenge to make up for 22 years of service. Much appreciated, and you know, we will do our best to carry on.
You'll be fine, don't worry.
Yeah. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Roger has his hand up. Oh, he's unmuted too.
Hi, Roger. You thought he was unmuted.
He looks unmuted.
How do you look muted?
Well, the microphone with a slash through it. That's how I can tell.
Yeah, he looks like he's still muted. I tried to send him a chat. I didn't know if he'd know how to open up the chat, but I didn't see a response come back.
He's definitely unmuting. Roger, I'm wondering, I'm going to try to, hopefully, I believe you can hear us. So at the very top of the screen, there's 3 dots. And if you select them and then go to, hold on one sec. Oh, device settings at the very top. It will allow you to make sure that your microphone is set to your camera or whatever microphone, if you want to try to check that.
He responded back. He says, I'm here.
There's also a phone number if you want to dial in from the phone, which could do the audio for you, which I'll post in the chat for you real quick here. Phone number.
So while we're waiting, just a question. So for tomorrow, just to get an idea of timing, Missy, from your perspective, and Lonnie, from your perspective, what would be, you think, a good time frame for kind of coming together at the office? I mean, I could certainly be over there before you, Lonnie, just going through some things with Missy, but I didn't know what time you think you might be able to be popping in.
I'm muted. So tomorrow, I'm pretty open at the moment. I don't have a ton in the schedule, so I'll just be at the office. If you guys want to do whatever it is you want, that it is you have. Oh, there it is. And then just give me a call or something and let me know when you're there, and I'll just shoot on over whenever you want me to come over.
Okay, cool. I think Roger is unmuted at the moment.
I don't know. Am I?
There he is.
All right, there he is.
Yeah.
How we doing?
Take over, Mr. Chairman. Doing well.
Welcome, Roger. You had your hand up. You had something to say?
Oh, I don't know. I heard Missy say my name, and I just assumed someone had a question for me or something.
No, we were discussing procedure for the coming few weeks for inspections, and currently what we're probably going to do. Missy, do you have an email for Steve Donatelli, and how are we going to get that out to the installers?
Well, that would be the thing. That would be something I would have to change on your recording. So when people call the office, they would hear that, but then I can also have something written up, kind of like a cheat sheet, so to speak. You know, like even with Harvey's number, if someone has any questions, you know, Steve's email and phone number, if that's how Steve wants to do it, giving out his whichever he wants to work with. I'll also call Tom Ryder for if someone has questions. How does he want things to be handled? Does he just want everything to be called in and someone checks the messages, or does Tom want his information out there? Also, as far as someone looking for a septic plan, septic, revisions or whatnot. So I will talk to the.
If you can give me a minute, I will step off the meeting and I will call Steve Donatelli and see what he has to say, if that's in agreement with everybody. I'll be right back.
Yes.
Okay.
Works for me. Thank you.
If you
Tom,
want-
what time do you?
I was gonna say, if you want, I can try calling Tom Ryder if you'd like.
Sure.
Fine with me.
Okay.
Tom Fichtner,
Yes.
what time do you think you're going to try to meet up with Missy in the office tomorrow? Because I would do my hardest to try to attend and maybe retain some of what she was telling us.
Well, I have flexibility. I thought maybe I'd get over there for maybe somewhere around, 10 o'clock, something like that, maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock.
All right. I will keep that in mind. And again, maybe there's a small portion that I could retain and maybe spit back in the future to help. I've got, maybe 6 weeks before I go back to work full time. Whatever we got to do to get over the hump.
Did I hear that you just volunteered to spend 4 hours a day in the office, Alan?
No, you definitely heard wrong.
Oh, darn it.
Uh,
Okay.
You know me. I don't want to be in first position.
That's fine. I figured I'll go through some stuff with Missy and kind of nail down some things, and then we'll pull Lonnie in and get him over there, kind of finalize the technical way that we want to see things go the smoothest way, and we'll.
Yeah, I'm not much of an office procedure person. You can't run an office with a shovel, so not
Oh,
exactly.
you haven't been around the private sector too much, have you, Alan?
I guess not. But like I said, I'd be more than willing to try to take some notes and see how much I could retain in a pinch.
We'll get through it.
We will, and I'm sure we'll learn a lot along the way.
So Lonnie, we missed you up at the fishing derby over the weekend.
Well, you should bring that up. Friday night, we had gone to the police department's fundraiser there for the police association. And when I did pull into the parking lot at about 10 o'clock over at Grandview, I looked out across the lake, and then I looked at the temperature on the dashboard of the car, and I was like, well, I stopped and I just drove away. I wasn't dressed for it, and my head hurt a little too much to be out there freezing. So I apologize.
No worries. I'd heard about the comedy night, and I, unfortunately, being up so early, having to get up so early, I had to forgo it because I probably never would have made it in time.
I promise you.
It was a good night there, comedy night?
Oh, no, it was definitely a great night. It was a great fundraiser, and there was a lot of good laughs with everybody, but you felt better than I did, I'm sure.
So Andy and myself are back. Andy?
So I did have a conversation with Steve, and he is okay with his cell phone number getting out. That's okay to the installers and the email, whichever people want to use. And he will once a week email the BOH email and with a log of work performed on this previous week, blah, 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 some kind of a log. So that's all good.
And I talked to Tom Ryder, and Tom Ryder said that they could use his use the email for septic plans. Like if someone needs to talk to him about a revision or a status of a plan or whatnot, to email. So what I will do is tomorrow I will change the recording saying if someone is looking for a septic inspection, I will put Steve's cell phone number. And if you're looking for a status or needing to submit septic plans, and I will put Tom's email address. Is that okay?
That sounds great. Thank you.
Okay, I will do that. And Tom is actually in the middle of finishing up. I sent him a list of plans that I still had that were needed to be finished up. So by tomorrow when I leave, all plans will be up to date and everything like that. Roger has his hand up.
Roger, does that answer your questions?
Yeah, also, should we call the office and just say we need an inspection as well, just so it's recorded, or do you just want me to just call Steve?
Probably just call Steve until we get someone in the office, because that answering machine is going to get very full.
Sure. Okay, excellent.
Steve can notify us until we get somebody in there. Then we'll go back to our old process, because that's how we document the work that our engineers have done for us. But thank you.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Lonnie has his hand up. Andy.
Go ahead, Lonnie.
Yep, sorry. So the only thing I would, so as far as the inspections go, he's going to send them once a week. Is that enough time, Missy? Because we're going to have to update Viewpoint. Does Viewpoint need to be updated for people to move forward with stuff? And is a weekly update of that sufficient, or would you like him, again, if needed, I can be available. He could email me if they were done, if some, or again, just offering, I would be able to help to approve them at least in Viewpoint if needed, or if one of the members wants to do it, just wondering if a week is enough time for the applicants, especially if it's a new construction type deal where they're waiting for things to move through in Viewpoint.
Okay, so that's a good point about bringing up Viewpoint. So, someone will need to, I don't know how you guys want to handle the Viewpoint aspect. That's something the board doesn't know anything about. You know, when a permit comes in from the building department, we have that process. But as far as septic plans are concerned, none of the septic plans or well information, those approval processes are going through Viewpoint. So they would have to figure out a point person to review the Viewpoint records that come in, plumbing, electrical, and either say, yes, we need something, no, whatever the case may be. As far as septic plans, that's when someone would have to actually come into the office, scan them in through the scanner, save them into my files, and then email them off to Tom Ryder. One of the things I was wanting to do was to get Viewpoint going with the septic plans and wells and everything. Daniel, who is one of our two inspectors, does have experience with Civic Plus and Viewpoint and everything, and he would be willing to start to get that process going if that's something the board wanting to do. It was one of the things I was actually going to talk to you guys about before I was going to be leaving. And he, but the town would just have to give him access, and you would have to work with him just like you would have worked with Dan Byer. I know Dan Byer's done a lot of work with Viewpoint, but maybe we can use Daniel to utilize him when he's in the office to start working on the Viewpoint for Board of Health, so people then can go into Viewpoint and request inspections instead of having this whole email, someone trying to check the emails and stuff. Tom, you have your hand up?
Yeah, just a question with regard to that, and I think that's potentially a great option. Is there any concern with Daniel not being an actual employee of the town, given his status in accessing Viewpoint and that record keeping software? Just throw that out.
I mean, I think that's a discussion for you guys to have with Lonnie or the select board. He is an agent for you guys. He is an employee of Northbridge. But that would really depend on how the select board and the Board of Health would want to work that out.
Lonnie, do you see any potential issues there?
I don't know. I would have to check with, I can check it with Kim and whatnot. But I do agree, anything we can get into Viewpoint to help that process, just because everybody's kind of getting used to now going there. But again, anybody that can help with that would be great. And I'll see if Daniel is willing to help, and it falls under the realm of what he can do for us, because he doesn't have to come to the office to do it. He could be working on that from wherever he is, at home or whatever.
Okay, great. If there's not any kind of issues with the status there, then yeah, I would agree. It'd be another great resource to tap and utilize.
Mitzi, did you say earlier this week that you have a permit for signatures? Not the one you called me on today, but did you say you had a permit for signatures?
Actually, Alan and Tom came in, so it's all set. It was just an installer's license for Roger and Glenn Barrows.
Okay, so you're all set with them?
Yep, we're good.
All right, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay,
The only other thing I put on your agenda, and it's been a thing, is the well regs and the dumpsters. I did reach out to Daniel and asked him to come up with those few things we talked about the last time. I think it was the purpose statement and then like kind of like a fining structure for anyone that didn't comply or was in violation of your reg. I haven't heard anything yet, but those are the only things I had, unless there's something you guys have.
no, no, not currently. We just need to set a meeting, next meeting.
Yep. So going on with your schedule, you would probably meet on February 23rd.
What day? Yeah, it's a Wednesday, obviously, right? 23rd of February, should be good.
Yep. So just keep in mind, and I'm sure Lonnie can help you guys with this when you're posting your agenda. The agenda needs to be figured out by Thursday, the 17th, because Monday, the 21st is a holiday. It's President's Day.
Lonnie, did you say you were going to handle getting the information to Ellen for posting?
Yes, I will definitely assist you guys with that part of it. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. I
For
shouldn't
you
say-
it is, not for me.
I was gonna say, I shouldn't say it like that. I definitely can assist you with that. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Just let me know what the agenda items are gonna be. I'll throw it on there. We'll get the, I'll get everything created ahead of time so we can just start appending the agenda items to it, and then we'll just ship, once you guys are happy with it, on or before the 17th, we'll just ship it off for the final.
Missy, refresh my memory, please, how much advance notice do meetings need to be posted?
48 hours.
48 hours, thank you. All right, anybody got anything else?
Tom has his hand up.
Go ahead, Tom.
We kind of went through the actual agenda items, so we just wanted to bring up the topic of our annual town report for the Board of Health.
Oh, I forgot about that. Sorry.
I didn't know if everyone had a chance to review what I sent through. Any thoughts on it?
I did not, I didn't see it.
I did review it, and I thought it was, as usual, very well written. I liked the fact that it was some serious topics, but it was a very upbeat and optimistic message. Thank you very much for your time, Tom.
Thank you,
Oh,
Tom.
sure. I know I had a couple of things here that, Missy, I think you might have to correct me on or fill in. I wasn't sure of Daniel's last name.
Markman.
Could you spell that?
Markman.
Okay. And then I add in the paragraph when I talked further down about E.L. Harvey, I actually put in that we were actually in the third year of our contract. I'm behind by a couple of years. So I'll have to adjust that. What did you think, Missy? Any thoughts? Did you have a chance to review it?
Yep, I read it and I think it's great. I'm good with it if you guys are good with it.
Okay. Well, Andy, if you want to take, when would we have to get this over for submission? What's kind of the drop dead date?
It's already passed, so it needs to be done as soon as possible.
Okay.
Go ahead and do it.
Okay, so Missy, if you wanted to just, in that one paragraph where I mentioned Daniel, I just kind of left a blank line. If you wanted to fill in his last name for me.
Sure.
And then 1, 2, 3 paragraphs below that, where started to talk about E.L. Harvey and what they provide. If you wanted just to kind of correct the wording where I kind of referenced the fact that we were currently in the third year, you can kind of omit that or just kind of adjust that to where we actually are with them.
Okay, because I think it's a mix. It is the third year, but it's also part of the first, part of the 6 months is the third year of the contract, and the other 6 months is the first half of the first extension. So,
Okay. I left out too, you would put in yours, and I was trying to take a lot of what you had and just add to this, where you would note that Harvey also donates 2 dumpsters to town cleanup when needed. I left out the 2 dumpster part after the word donate.
okay,
If you could slip that in there, and that'd be great.
okay.
So if everyone's fine with it, that'd be cool, and then you could send it off.
All right, I can send it off to Laura in the morning. Yep, sounds good.
Okay.
Missy, do we have a hazardous waste day scheduled?
Not as of yet. I can reach out to, I forget what his name is, tomorrow. And that way, at least maybe the conversation can get started with whoever's going to check the emails.
Yeah, because we need to know available dates and we don't want to snooze on it again.
Yep.
Is it possible, I don't know how Tom and Alan feel about this, but is it possible that you could secure a date tomorrow? And we just have to deal with it, whatever you tell us? I don't know how Tom and Alan feel about that.
I'm on
Yeah,
board.
yeah, if Missy's able to secure a date, then we'll just work it through thereafter. And otherwise, if we just have to continue to pursue, we'll do the appropriate follow-up. We're going to forward a lot of the stuff to Missy's cell phone anyway, aren't we? I'm kidding.
I would suggest we also verify the what the setup cost is going to be. It seems as though it's been increasing at a rapid rate.
What hasn't?
Right, but we need to be prepared.
Oh, yeah.
In order to pay the bill.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Missy.
Doing that right now, just so I don't forget. Anything else, guys?
So Missy, I don't know if you were away when we were, you and AJ might have been away when I was talking about time to stop in tomorrow.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe around 10 o'clock.
Sounds good.
Does that work?
Yep, I'll be here.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty. Is there anything else?
Crickets.
So I just wanna say thank you. I've enjoyed my time here, and I'm gonna start crying again, and it's gonna really piss me off. I'm sorry. But this week's been really hard. I'm leaving family. A lot of you guys have seen me in my best and my worst. I love you all. I thank you all. And I really, really, really appreciate you guys. So don't be strangers. And that's all I can say.
I'm gonna make it easier myself. Ditto.
Well, here comes a virtual tissue right back at you, Missy. Yes, it's been a wonderful ride. You've done a great job. I mean, 20 something years of time, and I've been on board for 12 of it anyway. It's just, I wish you much success where you're headed, and we'll keep in touch, and
Definitely.
And I love you, gal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Missy, you already know how I feel, and you're not moving out of town and you're not working too far over the town line. So
No,
you're just reporting to a different place in the morning. I promise I'll still toot the horn when I drive by your house in the morning.
thank you. Thank you.
And you never know, we may have to reach out to you for a real tricky question when we're really stumped. So
I've already
you're
been
not going
told
to
she
shake
has-
us that easy.
I've already been told she has caller ID and she's not accepting any calls.
But no, thank you very much for what you've done for the Board of Health and the town of Mendon. Valued, and we will do the best to carry on in your honor.
Make you
You'll be
proud.
fine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Thank you for everything, Missy.
Thank you.
As will you.
Thank you. I'll miss
Be
you all
safe.
dear. You're like family. I'm leaving family tonight.
Be
So-
safe, Missy.
You guys too. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.
Good night, all. Thank you.
I guess technically we need a motion.
Oh, that's right. Alan, you want a motion?
I'm going to motion to adjourn this evening's Board of Health meeting.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Good night.
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Lonnie. Thank you, Lonnie. We'll talk.
Tom, don't
tomorrow.
hang up. Tom, can you go to the dots at the top where it says more actions and click stop recording?
Let's see.
See if you have it in your list.
I don't see dots at the top. I actually have it in my more actions column.
Maybe.
And what's in the list? Is it under meeting details, Lonnie?
No, it's gonna be, I'm not sure how you're seeing it. So I see, I'm just seeing it. Are you on a phone or on a laptop?
I'm on a laptop.
Okay, so at the top, you see where it shows the show participants, the conversation, the little hand guy. Is there 3 little dots next to it?
Oh, yeah, I'm in that menu now. It starts out with show device settings, show meeting details.
Yeah,
enter
it should
full
say
screen,
stop recording down the bottom, I think.
Turn off incoming video. Oh,
No.
stop recording is blanked out on my screen.
Okay, I think hopefully once we all leave, it will be good. So it should stop recording. So I'll just make sure everybody's kind of kicked. Oh, I can't even kick anybody out. I just want to make sure Alan is out, only because I know that he doesn't have a leave button on his phone. But I think when he hangs up, maybe it just goes away.
All right, I'm signing out now, guys.
All right, thanks, Alan.
Okay, Alan. Thanks, AJ. Is that a permissions? Is that a permissions thing, Lonnie? Is that why it's grayed out?
It's because Missy started the meeting. Blah 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 blah. I can definitely change. We just have to be careful. We don't want like anybody to be able to stop the recording without us knowing. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
But yeah, we can check on that. If you had created the meeting, you would be able to start and stop it. It's only certain people that can. So.
Okay.
All right. Well, if you hop out, I'll hop out, and that should hopefully stop it all.
All right. Awesome. We'll talk tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, my friend. See you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.